Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of these Gallifreyan designs. They were done using Loren Sherman's fan-made Gallifreyan script, which uses a combination of dots and lines on these 4 different stems to make our consonants, and vowels are smaller circles that are kind of tricky. They're different depending on if they're by themselves just on the word circle line or if they're enclosed in one of the 4 consonant stems. So if this is like a B stem and a B with an E, and it would be right in the middle of it, whereas a J, it makes more sense in practice. I'll get to it when I get to the designs. So what's cool about this script is you can write the same thing in a million different ways. So these 2 very different looking designs actually say the same thing. So they both say not all those who wander are lost. And I'm going to go ahead and read this design first and then this design second. So this one is set up in a more typical bottom counterclockwise within a sentence circle fashion. So this whole thing enclosing it is our double sentence circle line, and that's where you'd put punctuation if you had it. So here's our bottommost word circle here, and then you'd go counterclockwise reading like this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, and then this one. So yeah, here's our first word circle, and here's the bottom of it. This is our bottommost stem, and it is a circle inside our word circle, so like this. And it has one line coming from it. So this is an N. And then on this N, there's a little vowel enclosed on it. Again, vowels are the smallest circles. And it's on that word circle stem, like a beat on a string. That's what O's do. So like a beat on a string is an O. So N-O, continuing around. Here we have a shallow divot, so in this row, with nothing modifying it. So that's just a T. So not is our first word. Continuing around. Here's our next word. Here's the bottommost letter of this word. And it is a small circle outside the word circle. So that's an A. So this is the word circle line, inside, outside. A is the only thing outside the word circle. Continuing around, here is where the double L is. So we have a double line here, 1, 2 lines. So this is a double letter. Since they're the same thickness, it's the same letter. So this is a circle inside the circle, so we're in this row. And there are 1, 2, 3 dots modifying it. So that is an L. 3 dots on a circle inside the circle is an L. That's a double L. So A, double L, so all. Turning around, here's our next word. Here's our bottommost stem. And it is a shallow divot with, a line passes through it, and there's a dot next to the L. But dots can only count for one thing. And it's in a totally different word anyway. So this has nothing modifying it, because just the one line passes through it, and only lines that end on it count. So anyway, this is just a T. T, continuing around. Here we have a deep divot, so in this row, with 1, 2 lines ending on it. So that is an H with another little beat on the string O on it. And then we have another shallow divot like this one, except this line ends here. Even though it looks like it continues through, we would see it passing underneath it if it were to actually legitimately continue. So this one ends here, this one ends here, and this one ends here. So that's 3 lines. So that's an S. And then we have a little E on the word circle line. So while I said O's are beads on a string on a consonant, they would be inside the word circle. This is the word circle line. E's are on it. So that is an E. So T-H-O-S-E. Those, here's our next word. Even though it looks like some weird concentric-y thingy, this is our word circle. This thing here. And it's just got a really big single stem on it. So this really big stem is a shallow divot because it's less than 50% completed by far. And it's got one big dot on it. So one big dot on a shallow divot is a WH. And then we have, even though it's still pretty big for a vowel, it's enclosed on that WH stem. So it has to be a vowel. So this is a circle like a beat on a string, even though it's a really big beat on a string. But that is an O. So WHO is this word, so who. And then we have our next stem word circle, which is this big one here. And it has a shallow divot with 1, 2 lines. So that is a W. Here's another A, just like this A, hanging outside the word circle. And then we have another circle inside the circle with 1 line, just like this N. So this is another N. These lines, they can go straight, they can curve, whatever. But the ones that end on it count. So that is a N. Continuing around, here we have another deep divot with 1, 2, 3 dots. Again, lines passing through don't count, but these 3 dots do. So that's a D. Then we have an E on the word circle. And then we have this stem. Now, this one looks like it might have nothing on it, But these 3 dots are closest to this stem than anything else in the script. So these 3 dots have to go somewhere, and they go with this T stem, making it an R, just like this R, which we haven't gotten to yet. So wander is our next word, and then we have this word. Here's the bottom of it with our A, continuing around. Here we have that shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 dots. So there's another R, and then another E, like a beat on a string. So R, and then we have this last word here, bottom of it. Here's our bottom stem. It is a circle inside the circle with 3 dots. So L with an O, like a beat on a string. O, continuing around. Here we have a shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 lines. So S, and then we have a T with nothing on it. So even though, yeah, that line passes through, that line passes through, it's just a T. And then we have, in our sentence circle, like divot, we have a large circle, which is period. So not all those who wander are lost, period. So that's that. Now let's point it out here too. So here we have that circle inside the circle with 1 line. So like this one, circle inside circle, 1 line, with an O on it. So N-O, and then we have our T stem. Here we have that T stem too. So not. Oh, also, orientation of this one. If you imagine an infinitely large circle, it would be read left to right if you read it bottom counterclockwise. So like, if this were just an infinitely large circle, bottom counterclockwise would look just left to right. So anyway, so N-O-T, not. And then we have our all. So here's the A on this all. Here's the A on that all. A, and then we have double line, double letter, 1, 2, 3 dots for the LL, just like this had 3 dots. So even though these dots are kind of far away from the L, they're the only modifiers in this word circle, so they have to go with that L. Anyway, all. This one's a bit different. So this I had the T and the H separate. This one, we have a circle on the line of the word circle with nothing modifying it. So that's just a TH by itself. We have an O on it, like a beat on a string. O, continuing around. Here we have a shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 lines, just like this. 1, 2, 3 line shallow divot, S. And then we have an E, just like that, E on the line of the word circle. And then I did who pretty much exactly the same way. Here we have that T stem with that 1 big dot right in the middle with that O right around it. So just like this, W-H-O. So who. And then we have our wander. Here's our big T stem with 1, 2 lines on it, just like this one's 1, 2 lines on that W. Continuing around. Here is our A. Oh, and this dot is closest to this stem, so we know it's part of this word in this stem instead of this one because it's actually touching. Sorry, excuse me. My allergies have been terrible lately. So W-A, and then we have an N. 1 line coming from a circle inside the circle, just like this circle inside the circle with 1 line. And then we have our D, deep divot, 3 dots, just like this 3-dot deep divot. And then we have the E actually enclosed inside the D for this one. So an E would be inside the consonant stem. So we have the E inside the consonant stem. And then last but not least, we have our R, shallow divot with 3 dots. Shallow divot, 3 dots. Wander. Then we have A, 3-dot shallow divot, 1, 2, 3, R, E. Then 3-dot circle inside the circle, 1, 2, 3-dot circle inside the circle, L, just like this L, O, 1, 2, 3 lines on that S. I did that S the same way I did an S over here too. Which S? No, I guess I didn't do that. I did that in a different sign. But anyway, 1, 2, 3 lines here, even though this line loops back around here. This is just the line. This is the 1, 2, 3 lines on the S. And then we have a T with nothing on it. T. This one doesn't have that period punctuation because there's no sentence circle around it. So, yeah. Not all those who wander are lost, and not all those who wander are lost, period. Woo!